Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to have a look at this question. Now, this is a question that comes from the equations of a circle. Now, it says that A, which has the coordinates as -6, 2, and B, which has the coordinates as 2, -4, are endpoints of a diameter of a circle. Find the coordinates of the center. Now, assume that you have a circle like this. Then we have a diameter, because they say A and B are endpoints of a diameter. So let's say we have A, this point A, which has the coordinates as -6 and -2. Then we have point B, which has the coordinates as 2, -4. Now, they are saying that we find the coordinates of the center. And the center is just the center of the circle. Let's say the center is A, B. Now we need to find the center, of which, for us to find the center is just the midpoint of the diameter, because this is a straight line that connects point A to point B. Therefore, we shall find the midpoint of this line. Now, the midpoint of this line will give us the coordinates of the center of this circle. Now, the midpoint is obtained this way. That we take -6, that is, the midpoint is obtained this way. That is, for example, n1 plus x2, then divided by 2, comma, that is y1 plus y2 all over 2. That is how you obtain the midpoint of a line. Now, that means our x1 is -6 and our x2 is 2. Therefore, we shall have -6 plus 2 divided by 2, then comma, -2, which is y1, -2 plus -4, then divided by 2. And that is how we can find the midpoint of this. Then at that point, we shall have -2, that is -6 plus 2 is -4, divided by 2 is -2, then comma, -2 plus -4 is -6, divided by 2 is -3. And these are the coordinates of the center of this circle. Therefore, the coordinates of the center is -3, not -3, but -2, -3. Those are the coordinates of the center. Now, question B. B says, find the radius of the circle. Now, since we have the center of the circle as -2, -3, and we have one end, because if we sketch the circle, for example, this way, we have the center, which has the coordinates as -2 and -3. Then the far end, or the end of the circle, the far end of the diameter, for example, point B, which has the coordinates as 2, -4. The distance from here up to here is just the radius of the circle. The distance from here up to here is the radius. Now, how do we find the distance from here up to here? Now, the radius is obtained by finding the square root of negative 2 minus 2, that is negative 2 minus 2, then squared, plus negative 3 minus negative 4 squared, that is negative 3 minus negative 4, then we square it. Now, in this case, we shall have the radius equals to the square root of negative 2 minus 4 is negative 4. Then we square it, then plus negative 3 minus negative 4 is just negative 3 plus 4. Then we close the bracket and square it. Then from there, the radius is just equals to the square root of negative 4 squared is 16, then plus negative 3 plus 4 is 1. Then if we square it, we get 1. And therefore, in this case, we shall have the square root of 16 plus 1. And in that case, the radius is given as the square root of 17. And from the calculator, the square root of 17 is 4.123. That is the radius of the circle. That is the radius of the circle. Now, lastly, we need to find the equation of the circle. Now, since we have the center as negative 2, negative 3, and we have the radius as the square root of 17, and we also know that the general equation of a circle is given by x minus a, then squared, plus y minus b, then squared equals to r squared, where a and b are the coordinates of the center. Therefore, in this case, we shall have x minus a, which is negative 2, then close the bracket, squared, plus y minus b, which is negative 3, then we square it equals to r squared, which is the square root of 17, then squared. Therefore, in this case, we shall have x plus 2, then squared, plus y minus, that is plus 3, then squared equals to root 17 squared. This one goes with this square root sign, and therefore we shall have 17. Then from there, if we expand, then we shall have x plus 2, then close the bracket, x plus 2, close the bracket, plus y plus 3, close the bracket that way, then y plus 3, close the bracket, equals to 17. From there, we shall expand and we shall obtain x squared plus 4x plus 4 plus y squared plus 6y plus 9 equals to 17. Now, if we write it in standard form, then we shall obtain, that is x squared plus 4x, then plus y squared plus 6y, then 4 plus 9 is 13. So I will write plus 13. Then when I bring this one to this side, then it will be minus 17 equals to 0. And therefore, we shall have 13 minus 17 is negative 4. Then we equate it with 0. Therefore, this one is the general equation. Not the general equation, but this one is the equation of this circle. This one is the equation of this circle.